Going on, y'all? Blue Falcon here, coming to you with another video. So, this topic is so interesting because I covered it already, and I covered it in the context of, when Fresh and Fit first brought Sneako onto their podcast, and Sneako had issues with the list that Rollo Tomasi had come out with in terms of the quickest way to become a high value man. Because so many people have talked about this topic already, I'm going to take a different spin, all right? So there's a content creator by the name of Mediocre Tech and Reviews, right? And he has a little, monologue that he does towards the end of his video where I think out of all the content creators that cover this topic, I think he actually did the best. But there's something I want to point out, all right? So let's actually get to it.
But ultimately, you as a man decide what's high value for you.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
You don't. It's probably something that's determined by.
Oh my God! So you just say you can sit on your couch and all day playing video games, eating Cheetos, stroking to the hub, and you can just call yourself a high value man? We need framework. We need instructions. We need a North Star. We need hierarchy. What is this participation culture entitlement bullshit? What is going on? I'm about to blow a goddamn blood vessel in my goddamn neck. God damn it! We cannot just make shit up. We're men. Hold the line. We are just as delusional as these feminist women who just create shit based on their feelings. Then these women who walk into let me read your hand. I'm gonna do a palm reading. Oh, let me just feel where your future is going. Shut up! None of that shit is real. Women are the #1 supporters of feeling-based content. No, you don't need no data to sell to women. You don't need no hierarchy to sell to women. You don't need no instructions to sell to women. You just gotta make them feel good. Oh God, oh my future's so great because Grand Master Poobah, Miss Cleo just told me that I have great fortunes ahead of me. Women are the main consumers of astrological content. Why? Why? Women are the main consumers of palm readings. Why? Why? Women are the main consumers of fortune tellers. Why? Why? Because they're emotionally based. I can't fault a women based on their nature. That's how they're created. But I can damn sure tell men, no, you need a rubric. You need a syllabus. You need to get your shit together because you don't live in this faux reality that women can live in. Because you're a man.
All right, so I'm going to stop right there. And now the reason why I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to go into the actual, context where Rollo himself is talking, right? So just stay tuned for that. But why am I touching this? Because I think what he said was well done. Well done, MTR. I think you really hit it on the nail. Yes, we need a rubric. We need a syllabus. We need some type of guideline to show men what does it mean to be high value. But did you notice in the midst of that speech, MTR, hey, you didn't tell nobody what it actually means to be a high value man neither. Now, to be fair, in other videos I've seen MTR talk about, a man who has status, a man who's been focused on himself, so he's monetarily, he's on point. Women, he has a bunch of women, or at least a rotation. I've heard him say that he has value and respect from men as well, which I think is very important because you have to network. That's cool. But you see, this fundamentally is still, in my personal opinion, very abstract. Very abstract. And this is the reason why, if you ever watch this interview for yourself, you will see that Ben Shapiro, they mentioned Ben Shapiro's name. He could be considered high value. Brandon Carter, who has a totally different lifestyle, he's high value. Kevin Samuel, totally different lifestyle, he's high value. And every one of these guys have a total different standard of what it means to be high value. So therefore, there's still no rubric. Yeah, you see, we could say certain things, but because it's abstract, have money, have respect from other men. You don't have women. You have all those stuff, and it looks so different depending on your personal feelings and emotions, your personal upbringing, excuse me. So therefore, it's still not consistent across the board. What does it mean to be high value? This is why I want to definitively, listen up, I want to definitively tell you the only way you can be high value is if you put the Most High, God, Yah, the creator of the universe, if you put him first and foremost in your life, period, point blank. When you do that, naturally, women will not come first because who's first? He's first. Period, point blank. You're going to get respect because no matter what, everybody is going to respect. And we're not talking about the atheists out there. We're talking about men are going to respect you if you stand on your morals, if you stand on integrity. I don't do such and such because it doesn't fit according to the guidelines of the Bible. You see that? Notice that's the guideline. Notice that's the rubric. Notice that's the syllabus. Just stick to the Bible. It's so amazing to me that this book has existed for years, for thousands of years, far before we were ever put on this earth. And we have men. You want to talk about, respect of your peers? I mean, till this day, aren't people still paying homage to Abraham, homage to Isaac, Jacob, David, Solomon, right? Samson. They keep talking about these guys for a year, generation. So clearly they got respect. Jesus, if you look like the men in that book, you automatically are going to garner respect. You're ultimately going to become high value. That is the only true high value. When you actually line up to the lifestyle of these men in the Bible. You see, this is why the Bible talks about having temperance, right? Self-control. When you have self-control, then you don't have to go get a vasectomy. You get what I'm saying? This is why these things that exist is total foolishness. I want you to watch this video, though. Check it out for yourself, guys.
Can you hear me okay?
What up, man?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. So let me explain a few things here. I wasn't able to do this the last time you guys were talking about this, but so about, gosh, is it now 2 weeks ago? I think it was Tuesday of last week. You guys had Brandon Carter on. Is that with Derek Moneyberg? Or is that Monday?
Monday.
Monday. Sorry, let me get my camera back up there. So Monday, you guys were talking to Brandon Carter. One of the things that Brandon was talking about was you got to love money. You got to be on top of your game. And I love Brandon Carter, by the way. I think he should be a stand-up comedian. I mean, the guy is that funny. He's a great guy, right? But when you guys are on that show and you're talking to him, and he's talking about how he doesn't go to he doesn't go to Publix, doesn't go grocery shopping for himself. He doesn't go do his own laundry. He doesn't have a car. I mean, it's Brickle White, but he doesn't have like some basic stuff because his philosophy in life is that anything that takes him away from his grind, anything that takes him away from anything that would distract him or that would be financially or mathematically not a pragmatic choice for him to make, as far as like if he's spending time going grocery shopping or going and getting food for himself or whatever else. I'm sure he's like into meal prep and everything else, but pretty much everything in his life is outsourced, because anything that he would be spending that time himself to go do, he could be losing money doing that at that time. So when I was listening to this, and I was thinking about this myself, because I was actually at the same time, I'm like, helping a friend move and all this. And I'm thinking about this. I'm going, you know what? If you want to be a high value man, if you want to get to that apex level as fast as you can, that's it. How is that not the best way to go about it? Okay. So the point of that whole tweet, which was basically a throwaway tweet that everyone started like snowballing into something else. I've got Ben Shapiro coming at me. I got Matt Walsh coming at me. I got Lauren Chen coming at me. I got all these people off of Daily Wire because it was just easy, low-hanging fruit for these guys because they think that that's what the fucking manosphere is all about, and it's not, okay?
Well, look, to be fair, I don't really blame these people if they think that's all the manosphere is about. I mean, even from the groups that I attend, all I constantly hear about is women. Women, 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 right? And they claim you want to be a high value, you want to talk about your finances, but shoot, when you put any post, you post in these forums about finances, and then it's crickets. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and this is what's so sad because again, this is ultimately the beta mindset. Why are people so pussy with? Why is the only thing that comes to your mind is pussy? This is what's so crazy to me. And again, because these people lack self-control, and they're gonna have a beta mindset. Why? Because they're gonna put this woman, they put women in general, that becomes their god. And that's the problem. You see, the only person that you need to be admiring is God himself. So I don't blame when you have Ben Shapiro and all these other people attacking the red pill community, because that's all that's in the conversation. Women this, women that. We need to change the dialogue.
That was not fucking advice. Everything that is on Twitter is not advice. Okay?
Was that a joke?
No, it was not necessarily a joke, but it's like, let's just say it's a hypothetical, okay? It's showing you. Now, hypothetical shut up for just fucking 5 seconds, okay? This is no fucking joke here, because everything that's come out of both of you guys' mouth has been nothing but distraction and misdirection, because it's easy fucking clicks.
Look, you see, and this is the thing, right? It's actually so sad that you have Rollo Tomasi, who's supposed to be the godfather of the manosphere. Some people regard him as the godfather of the red pill. You have Rollo Tomasi. I mean, from what I understand, the manosphere and the red pill, we talk about masculinity, right? They're the champions of masculinity. How you have this grown man being flustered, and you can tell he's flustered because now he's resorting to cussing and he's losing his temper. I mean, that's masculine. If you ever join any type of debate, you got to leave your emotions out of it. Period, point blank. Period, point blank. You got to leave your emotions out of it. But look at this guy. A grown-ass man on top of that. And you got Sneako, who's what? 20, I think he's like 26 years old. And then you got, you losing your cool to, what is this guy? Destiny. A guy who's gay. You finna lose this debate to a gay man? But we talking about champions of masculinity? Oh my gosh.
For you. So here's the whole thing. When I'm talking about get a vasectomy, or don't be concerned with.
I like how when he's mad, his glasses get uneven on his nose. You see?
Let him finish.
Okay.
He's really mad about this, bro.
Shall we keep going? Are we just gonna have jokes thrown in here?
Really heated about
Is that what I get to? Is that what I get to do? It? Okay. So here's the deal. When I'm talking about this, when I'm throwing this out there, why wouldn't you do that? Would you not have been more successful, Sneako, had you not had to go through certain things? If you had a kid right now,
advice or not?
You would be playing the game with a handicap. You would be playing the game with your fucking hands tied behind your back.
Okay, so
there are guys right now who I have a lot of respect for, and I'm sure you have a lot of respect for as well, who all have kids, but you know what they try to do? Try to keep it under wraps.
Okay,
try
so
to make sure nobody knows about the fucking kids. Okay.
What is advice?
So here's okay. First off, this is not fucking advice. Everything that is on my show or is on Twitter is not automatically advice. Now, but here's the thing. You know what you're gonna say, because here's the deal. When I was on whatever podcast I was saying exactly the same thing here. Is that everything that comes out of somebody's mouth on Instagram or on Twitter or on a YouTube, there's no way you can't go on there without somebody going, "This is what these guys are saying to do." Because if you have this set automatically, that if it comes out of your mouth, it's automatically advice, it can't just be data. It can't just be statistics. Nothing can be just delivered sort of like, here's some data for you to look at, okay? Nothing can be.
All right. I see what this guy is talking about, but you got to understand, right? With great power comes great responsibility, right? Again, this is a man who's written countless books on the topic of the manosphere, red pill, masculinity, you name it. Female nature, you name it. High value man, you name it. And the problem comes with that when you are already regarded as the one who constantly gives advice, and mind you, I mean, I'm sure they will show you later on in the video, but there's a list. It's like 8 things, the quickest way to become a high value man. when you phrase it this way, you don't say here's research. You didn't state that these are the statistics. You didn't say that. You just left it a blanket statement. So of course people are going to interpret the list as people saying that, oh, maybe this is what Rollo thinks is the fastest way. That's his advice for men becoming high value. I mean, it's so ridiculous. And the fact that he's taking so long just to explain his tweet shows you that there's shadiness involved to begin with. But let's keep going.
Nothing can be set, nothing can be given to you without somebody going, well, the reason why you're telling me this is because you're telling me that this is the best way to live my life, okay? So when I'm watching Brendan Carter and I'm watching all this going on, and I'm looking at like guys that I know and guys that you know as well, and when these are the guys who are like saying, you know, be on your game, do this, do that, they're the ones that are giving this advice. All I'm doing is saying, hey, look, maybe you should not focus on family. Maybe you should not get married. I mean, I don't know why that's big.
It's maybe advice.
I'm not saying it's advice. What I'm saying is that this is so over the fucking top that everybody wants to take it out of context, which is exactly what you guys have been doing.
So what is it? Can you tell me what that tweet was if it wasn't advice?
It's not advice. What it is it's okay. It's saying that this is the most extreme way to do things. Okay, here's the quickest path to. If I told you this, look, if I said the quickest way for you to make a.
All right, so let's check this out, you guys. Check this out, right? Again, this is the actual tweet. The quickest path to becoming a high-value man. 1, do not get married. 2, avoid family creation. 3, vasectomy in your 20s. Now, let's just stop real quick before I continue. Why is vasectomy the quickest the quickest way? The quickest way to become high value is just practice abstinence. If you're really so concerned about not starting a family, you see, and this is why I keep going back to the Bible. You know, exercise some temperance, exercise some self-control. If you really don't want to have a family, don't insert your penis inside a woman's vagina. Period. Point blank. It's not rocket science. But this is what it is. If you get a vasectomy, what it promotes is a whoremongering lifestyle. What it promotes is that, you know what, I want to still dig as much women down as much as possible, but I don't want to have a child. But I still just want to run around and not take care of these women. You see, this is what I'm saying. You end up just being a whoremonger. And this is what I've always had a problem with the red pill community. This is exactly what I was saying before. All they promote is women this, women that. Number 4, live consistently. 5, eliminate all sedation. 6, learn, game, and networking. 7, play to your strengths, build wealth. 8, resist easing up on your focus. Now, when you listen to this, doesn't it sound like advice? I mean, all the rest sounds pretty good, right? And all the rest sound perfectly fine, in my opinion. I don't see no issues with it. So what's the problem? Yes, the problem is the vasectomy, bro. You should have never put that shit there. You should have never put that shit there. Now he wants to try to, you know, finagle his way out of it and say it's just the extreme way. Okay, sure, fine.
$1 million.
That sounds like advice.
Is to go steal it from the bank or go to steal it. Does that mean I'm telling you to go steal it? If I tell you to go fucking jump off a cliff, are you going to go jump off a cliff?
Right.
I'm also, by the way, here's the other thing is I'm also responding to Dr. Richard Reeves in this as well.
Okay, there's a lot of context about it, sure. But all the rest of the list, you're equating vasectomy to lifting, game, play to your strength, resisting up on easing your focus. The rest of it sounds like general advice.
Okay, well let's say so. Let me ask you. So is it the vasectomy part that's throwing you off?
Yes.
Genuine good advice, right? The rest of it.
Is it the vasectomy part?
Yes.
Yeah, the vasectomy part. Do you agree with pretty much everything else except for the vasectomy part?
The first 3 is weird because then I don't even know what the red pill idea of a high value man is. Is it just being rich? Like, what's the point of having all this money and not having a family? Why be that rich? The guy who's always grinding. Whoa, Brandon Carter doesn't have to do his laundry. Sick. What else are you going to do with your life?
Right. Maybe this is actually meant so that you'll get it. You'll have a freaking epiphany about how all the shit that you have to sacrifice to get to that in the first place. What are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to live the kind of life, let's say like a Brandon Carter is, where you're going to outsource your entire life? or are you going to actually have kids? Is that something that's a priority for you? Because I will tell you right now that if you follow this kind, if you were to actually follow this list right here, that is the fastest way for you to get to a point.
No, it's not the fastest way. It's not. Look, again, right? Now I'm trying to interpret it for him. And perhaps what he's really trying to say is that this is the best way to mitigate risk, right? And I think I've heard Myron say this is like, you're making it idiot proof. You're making it retard proof so that, you guys really don't mess up. But again, if you're really not trying to mess up, just don't mess with these women, period. Just focus on your grind. Focus on building yourself up. And more importantly, focus on the Most High. That's it. You don't gotta do these crazy extreme procedures to your penis just because you lack self-control. And because more importantly, you just want to dick women down. That's the truth. That's the truth. But yeah, I guess if you did follow the list, you would mitigate risk. Sure.
Where you are more high value, right? So here's the thing. So when I say that, people go, well, that's not what a high value man is. A high value man is what I define it as, which is he's got to have a good, loving, devoted wife. He's got to have 3 or 4 kids or 10 kids, depending on whatever culture you're talking about. All of this stuff that makes up whatever that person who happens to have that is, then that's suddenly the definition of what a high value man is. So what I'm saying this is the best way to become a high value man. I'm not saying this is the only way to become a high value man. I'm just saying that this is the fastest way to go and do something.
We've been talking a lot for 5 minutes. What is your definition of a high value man?
It doesn't matter. That's not what I was talking about in this.
It doesn't matter.
I know what you're talking about. That's what the first part of the tweet is: how to become a high value man.
The fastest way to become a high value man is to recognize the fact that you've got sacrifices to make. Okay.
So what is that? Telling stories from Vietnam. Just say, what is a high value man? It's the first part of the tweet. What does that mean?
You tell me what a high value man is. Because here's the thing: is it doesn't matter what I'm going to say is a high value man. You guys are fucking.
Because it's your fucking tweet.
It doesn't matter what I say is a fucking high value man because everybody takes this. The point of the fucking tweet is that everybody is going to take this and then insert their own definition of what a fucking high value man is. That's the bait.
12 kids when
You see what he's saying? That was the original intent of the tweet, so that it can bring forth discussion or people will insert their own idea. You can't insert your own ideas. You see, because this is the problem. If we engage in this type of rhetoric, we're no different than women who say, I'm a boss ass bitch. And every woman, if you tell them rate themselves, they all think they're 10s. You can have a fat whale, she considers herself a 10, and then you got a genuine model, she says she's a 10. Clearly, they both look different, but they both 10s. And who's gonna argue that? Because it's just how I feel. It's just how I feel. I feel, it makes me feel fuzzy inside to say that I'm a 10, so I'm a 10. Bullshit. And we get on women all the time for saying this type of shit, but now we're not going to get on the men. No. There is no multiple ways of being high value. You see, and this is why I offered what I personally believe. You can take it if you want to, but this is what I've seen to actually work and make sense. I'm not going to finagle. You're not going to see me change my course. I don't have to backtrack. I'm going to stand 10 toes down like a real man. If I make this statement, best believe I'm going to stand by this statement. A real high value man is a man that puts the Most High first. Period, point blank. I don't need a 10-page thesis paper. I don't need a 5-minute discourse. No. Put the Most High Yah first in your life. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything will be added onto you. You get what I'm saying? Everything will be added onto you. It's crazy.
You're 16. Then your tweet doesn't work, does it? What if your definition of a high value man is being getting into a trade and having 5 kids by the time you're 22? Then it also. High value man is being an esports professional.
You're absolutely making my point for me right here. Okay, this is what I'm saying.
My point is a high value man. You gave a list of 8 things Do these 8 things to become a high value man. Do 1 through 8 to become A. And you're not defining what A is.
The fastest way to becoming a high value man is these things.
What is that?
So here's the thing. So if we're talking about family creation, already talk. Okay, so you want to go? Okay, let's go one by one. You want to go one by one? Okay,
No,
so
I want to go before 1 by 1. What is a high value man?
We can't have an argument if I don't even know what your
the
definition
point is the very fact that you're even asking this in the first place is the actual point of the fucking tweet. Okay, so if you're going to be a high value man with the fucking hands tied behind your back, then what is that? What does that mean to you? That's the point. This whole discussion is the point of the fucking tweet.
The point of the tweet was, you've got some conception of a high value man. Here are 8 points that you think you need to do to get to it. And now you're getting blown the fuck up on the vasectomy thing, which you probably realize is fucking retarded. But you're too old and stubborn to walk back from it.
That's it. You kept saying that exactly it. He's too prideful. He's too arrogant. You know, in the Bible it says, you know, pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. And this is, you're literally watching the fall of Rollo Tomasi. He's too arrogant to just admit that he probably should have never put that vasectomy part on that list whatsoever. Because now what he's trying to do is moonwalk. He's trying to moonwalk out of the conversation, backtrack and say, hey, a high value man is what you think a high value man is. You get what I'm saying? I only did the tweet so that it could bring forth a discussion. Well, hey, good job, Rollo. Good job, Rollo. We're all discussing this tweet now. So, hey, you did a perfect job. Man, cut it out, man. Cut this shit out, bruv. You know damn well you done effed up. You should have never put that there. And don't lead a whole bunch of young men astray by telling them that they should get a vasectomy in their 20s. That's a lie from the pit of hell. Telling men, what the hell? Wow.
That's the point of this conversation.
I'm not too stubborn to fucking walk back from it because the point of it was to get douche nozzles like yourself to fucking have this conversation in the first place.
How old are you, bro?
Wow. Wow. You know what's so crazy? Kevin Samuels literally used to say that women engage in what's called sign language. And sign language was, S was for, I think, shame. They try to shame men. I was insults. And look at what these guys were resorting to. Insult. Douche nozzles. Douche nozzles. What the hell is that? Wow. Look how the mighty have fallen. Wow. What a shame. But man, he was, hey, I never looked up to the man. But for those people who have, woo! My.
Douche nozzles?
Yes. You guys are fucking idiots. Why are you guys coming in here from fucking Twitch stream? Like, how you guys are legitimate in all of this? I don't know, because everything I've heard come out of you guys' mouth is just fucking confident ignorance.
I'm asking, no, Myron. Okay, I'm not asking you like in terms of the debate. You call yourself the godfather of the red pill.
I call myself the godfather of the manosphere, okay? Other people have called me that.
Okay, great. That's very...
Do you understand?
Okay, so as
godfather or grandfather of the man? Which one is it?
Whatever it is, the old guy of the manosphere. What is your definition of high value man? This is the #1 talked about topic on all of these shows. So I want to get a clear definition from you. What is it?
You tell, again, it depends on the person. It depends on the culture. It depends on the. So here's the thing. Let me tell you. Maybe I can explain this to you, Sneako, because at least you got your ears open here. The thing is that when we're talking about what's the top G, what's a high value guy, you probably haven't heard this because you don't read my stuff and you don't watch my shit. No. But I've also said this is like the red pill has to be for everybody, or it's for nobody. So if we're looking at a guy who's draped across a Lamborghini and he's got hot chicks with him, and we say that's what I'm aspiring to, but I'll never make that because I live in a fucking fishing village on the coast of Chile, right? That means I can never match that high apex of a high value guy.
The guy in the car?
But the guy who happens to live in those villages or happens to be in a different culture or in a different country or whatever else, he can still benefit from that because however he's defining himself as a high value man in his fishing village, maybe that's what he can aspire to.
It has nothing to do with Chile and the village and the car.
See, here's the thing: is you guys want me to say, okay, a high value man makes $100,000 a year. He's fucked 50 chicks. He's got like that's the
That's
thing.
not what I want you to say. I disagree with that. I'm asking you because I come on this all the time.
Disagree with it. What I'm saying is the point of the tweet is so you will ask that question.
I'm past the tweet. I'm past that. Look, I'm asking as somebody who's really interested in the red pill. I listen to a lot of this content. I want to know what your definition is, because if you have a definition that's completely off of what I think it is, then I guess I'm not red pill.
Well, here's what I think guys ought to do. Would you like me to give you some prescriptions?
You know what's sad? Because again, Sneako is 26, right? And unless he's being facetious, I can't help but feel that he's actually genuinely intrigued or generally concerned, somewhere along those lines. But he generally wants answers. As a young man, he probably wants some direction. And here what it is this old man can't provide any direction to this youth. Isn't that sad? That we live in a generation where men, there's a lack of leadership, there's a lack of wisdom, clearly, there's a lack of wisdom. And that if we are going to look up to these type of, first of all, I don't look up to them. I'm going to keep that a buck with you from the jump. I already told you who I look up to. I already told you who I look up to. The men in the book. Because their testimony has stood the test of time. They have already accomplished the goal. They made it to the kingdom. So, hey, those are the people that I actually look up to. But this is the champion of the red pill. Man, and he can't even answer simple questions to the youth. This is a damn shame.
Is that what we're trying for here?
No, I want to know your opinion of a high value man. What is it?
I think a high value man is whatever is contextually makes that guy a high value guy in whatever culture that he happens to be in. If that's money, that's money. Right now, that's what we tend to focus on right now. But if I'm going to say that,
a high value man is a guy that has the things that makes him a high value man.
All right,
That's
the things that make you a high value man. Okay, what is that? You know, we've been trying to. We're never going to define it.
Just kind of because here's the thing. When I read the tweet, I interpreted it right with a higher step. Like, he's listing things that if you follow these things, right, and you actually follow them, you're probably not going to become a fuck up, right? And to be a high value guy, I would say it's a combination of things. It's obviously having your money on point, having social proof and status, having respect from your peers, having a network of other high value men, right, which I agree with Kevin Samuels on that, being fit to a degree. If you have all these things in place, you'll be considered a high value man by most people in you.
But here's the problem, Myron. Here's the problem, bro. You are answering for him. And this is a man. At least he's supposed to be a man. And he can't answer the question for his damn self. He can't. Why are you holding his hand? He's not some little child. He's not a boy. Let him answer the question for himself. I mean, he's the one that made the tweet. Just what is a high value man? He can't answer. He can't answer it. At least Myron attempts to give some form of structure as to, okay, this is what a high value man is. But you see, I guess to Rollo's defense, I don't personally think that's what qualifies you as a high value man. I mean, I think those things are just a byproduct of being a man that's after God's image, right? But you see, I guess Rollo's right. It's all subjective. So when are we as a group of men actually going to be like, okay, this is the actual rubric as MTR has suggested. This is the actual rubric. This is the actual guideline. This is the actual syllabus, right? When are we going to actually come together and say this is the set prescribed way to be high value? For me, I think the best way to do it is just to be a man who puts the Most High first. But I'm going to keep going.
Most societies, right? If you have these things in place. Now, with that said, to get there, right, you obviously have to focus and get your shit together and make sure that you focus on getting there. What he's saying is all these, the list of things that he mentioned, if you follow them, it's going to mitigate your risk of becoming a fuck up and not getting to that point as quickly as possible. And I think that's so important, is that this tweet kind of gets taken out of context. He's saying the quickest way to become a high value man, avoid and do these things because you're limiting distractions. And he's using Brandon Carter as an example where He's in a monogamous relationship with a girl. He outsourced a lot of his things. Why? So he's able to focus on making more money. He's getting rid of obstacles. And I think that tweet demonstrates that.
Yes.
You're getting rid of obstacles so you can become a high value man in the quickest possible way. Now, I know the most controversial one is the vasectomy. Though there's other ways to get the same, I guess, effect from vasectomy. Let's say you use a condom. Let's say you pull out, whatever it may be. He's saying, okay, if you get the vasectomy, then we know for a fact you're not going to have children. Yeah. It's really no different than having a condom or pulling out or whatever it may be.
No, it's not. You know, if you try the pull out method, there is still a potentiality of you getting the woman pregnant. And if you use a condom, I mean, that is also not 100% proof that you can't, like, you won't impregnate that woman. 100% is practicing abstinence. Just don't have sex with these women. Wait. Self-control. You see, the options they're going to provide you is the options that still allow you to hoe around, be a whoremonger. That's the options they presented to you. Good job. That's the options they want you men to have. To dig as much women as possible, and then years later you're going to cry, oh, why there ain't no good women out here? Why there ain't no good women out here? Why? Well, you sound just like babies to me. Why? Why there ain't no good women out here? Why all of them are hoes? All of them are 304s. Oh my gosh. These hoes ain't loyal. They got a high body count. Who contributed to the high body count? Oh, okay. Yeah. I guess on your pursuit of being high value, you contributed to the high body count. But you're going to complain about women. You men are sorry as hell. You men are sorry as hell.
The point is to not get a girl pregnant. How you want to get there is up to you, whether it's through vasectomy, using condoms, whatever. But he's making it retard-proof. Hey, vasectomy, because I know even if you are the dumbest guy ever, you can't fuck this up.
I don't think a retarded guy can be a high-value guy.
No, when I say retarded, I mean as in stupid. But what I'm saying is that the point I'm trying to make is this list is the foolproof way, if everything is followed, for you to get your status up as quickly as possible in your 20s.
That's not what the list is, though. Because what you just said was advice, and he said it's clearly not advice. So you're interpreting it.
He said he's joking, and he's trying to provoke
joking.
people.
Like half of it was just for jokes.
But I'm telling you, I started out telling you guys how I interpreted that.
Yeah, sure.
Right? He's saying
You're not wrong.
Right here.
You're not wrong.
so that people can interpret it how they want.
Exactly.
To create discussion.
And
That's the point.
it's funny.
That's what he's saying.
He asked a question earlier. So you asked him a question, what is high value? You answered it. It's whatever you determine that to be.
No, that's bullshit. None of you guys believe that. If some guy comes on this show and he weighs 350 pounds and he says, I'm Diamond 1 in League of Legends. That's what I want to do with my life. But you go, well, that's what you really want. You're high.
All right, and we saw this already, right? So, you guys, you could tour around with your life as much as you want. I've done said enough here. You could tour around with your life, dig around, you get what I'm saying, both physically and mentally. You do that all you want. Follow these guys, be a whoremonger in your pursuit of being high value, get your vasectomy, or interpret what high value is, you know what I'm saying? So that everybody can be high value, right? Just like Destiny said, it's sad. I never would have thought in a million years that I would see a gay man actually trump men, quote unquote masculine men, who are supposedly, supposed to engage in rational, logical arguments. I mean, literally, if I recall, Rollo Tomasi's, his whole channel is called, I think, The Rational Male. The Rational Male. And he didn't use not one sense of rationale at all in any of his arguments. It was all emotions, resorting to insults. This is a damn shame. I'm totally disgusted. Again, you guys, I'm going to keep it simple. You want to be high value? Be a man that puts the Most High first in his life. Period, point blank. Follow after Jesus. Anyway, if you like content like this, please like, subscribe, comment down below because it does help. With that being said, we're Falcon over and out. Jesus is king, y'all.
Game to win. Game hard.